sometimes the month of Muharram for certain events, or maybe as the Ashura, we did have a very detailed Bayaan on the day of Muharram on Saturday a few weeks ago. But there are other events and there are other things that took place in the month of Muharram. The month of Muharram, again, is a very blessed month, and we should have good intentions, good niyat. Some people have New Year's resolutions, we want to change, what are the weaknesses. Similarly, as Muslims, we should be doing muhasabah. We should be doing muhasabah, in fact, daily. We should be doing muhasabah, our akabir, our elders and scholars, they say that we should be doing muhasabah after every salah. After every salah, my salah today, Jumu'ah, is it better than the way my concentration, my devotion, my connection to Allah, is it better than the Fajr salah? My Asr salah has to be better than today's Dhuhr salah, today's Jumu'ah salah. Today should be better than yesterday. The way we sit down and make worry and concern, we consult, we ask for opinions, whether our business and for dunyavi things, whether our education for young children or students, what is the best way forward for me. Similarly, this is what we should be doing in Deen. The way we make fikr, worry and concern for ourselves in dunya, in our business, our being successful. We don't want to be in loss when we are working out our end of month. We're looking at our income, our outgoing, how much profit we have made. We do this for dunya. How many times have we done this for Deen? We should be doing this. This is called muhasabah. We are going to be asked for this. In the day of judgment and the day of in the hereafter, Allah Ta'ala won't ask us in the grave that how much did you earn, or how much benefit did you make from your business, and how much earnings did you have, what wage you were on, what was your yearly, annual income. This is not what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has been to. We are not going to be questioned about this. We should be doing muhasabah. This is called muhasibu qabla an tuhasabu. Take hisab, to do muhasabah. Take account of yourself before we are taken account of our actions and our deeds. So similarly, in New Year's we should be looking at least that in the last year, how was I close to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in regards to my salah, my dhikr, my tilawat, and what I can do to improve and get closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Especially now the last few months, we're in the lockdown period, we've had so much time to reflect. Now let's make a change in our life, and this is a perfect time. And this is what I wanted to talk in the next week. The Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, and one of the greatest Sahabi, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and all the Sahabi kan nujum, they are like the stars, whichever one you follow, you will find guidance. And we have many of the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala, they are like our superstars, or they are our role models. Our children, they go to school, the teachers ask, who do you want to be like? Who's your favorite, favorite film star? Who's your favorite, actor? Some of the children, because they have so much, they watch this every day. They will say Spider-Man. Someone will say these X-Men characters. But can we not teach them the love of the Sahaba? And then they say, I want to be like Hazrat Umar ibn Khattab. I want to be like Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Ali. Can we not teach these Sahaba? It shows how much knowledge our children have of these Sahaba, how much knowledge we have of ourselves. Something to reflect upon. How much knowledge what do I know about the Sahaba? How many Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala names I can mention? Our children, youngsters, you ask them to name the football team, they will name all the 11 players in the opposition team, and even the bench and the subs and the reserves. But when it comes to Sahaba, it's difficult to even mention the 10 Ashar Mubashara for ourselves and our children. If we don't have the knowledge of people on what successful people, when we want to look at successful people, whoever we think they are successful, we will read about them. We will never know the Sahaba, what they achieved, what made them successful, what lifestyle they chose. Was it the lifestyle of following their desires and going after the dunya? Was this the lifestyle of the Prophet and the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala, who are our role models, who should be our role models? And if we are not going to follow these, are we going to find success by following? It says, مَنْ تَشَبَّهَ بِقَوْمٍ فَهُوَ مِنْهُمْ. Whichever nation we follow, we will be from them, we will be amongst them. When we follow a nation, they might have certain things that are good, but they have other things where they're evil and things that they have in their nation and their culture will come and take over our culture. And we will forget our Islam, our children, our nasl, our generations to come. We need to protect our iman. The Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala were the guiding stars. The Sahaba, they were rich, they had business, they had families, they had many of the Sahaba 3-4 wives. They had children, not 1 or 2, 3, 4 children. They had children 20, 15, as Anas radiallahu ta'ala, 10, 15. They had many children as well, and then they had the lifestyle, yet this did not take away their objective, their goal of life, and the mission, what they need to achieve. This is something we need to reflect as Sahaba radiallahu. There are many Sahaba we can talk about. One of the greatest Sahabi, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لو كان بعدي نبيا لكان عمر. لو كان بعدي نبيا, if there was to be a prophet after me, it would be Umar. The reason I want to mention is Umar, because Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, inshallah we will talk about his death. On the 1st of Muharram he passed away. He's buried right next to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr, and that small house where Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is a hujra of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would live in that small house. There are only 3 graves. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhu. He is buried right next to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr. They're called the Sahibain, the Shaykhain. The 2 great Prophets sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about Abu Bakr and Umar. There's many other virtues. Umar radiallahu anhu. We can take many lessons. He was, before Islam, he was rich. He had business, he was respected. He had everything. He was the ambassador for the Quraysh, and when they had to send, Safir is an ambassador on behalf of the Quraysh and the Arabs into other countries, going into Syria and the Middle East. When he would travel, Hazrat Umar would be made as an ambassador, a spokesman, very clear, very abrupt, very straight and strict. This was Umar. He had everything. He had respect. People loved him. People feared him. There was nothing he could lose. Yet he left that life for what? For the lifestyle to, the life of success. The Prophet ﷺ made dua before his acceptance. Because at the age of 27, he accepted Islam. But Prophet ﷺ had the prophethood when he was 27 years old. And he was the worst, one of the worst enemy, very strict against, Islam, and very, sometimes it's impossible for that person to accept Islam. The biggest enemy we can say was Umar. There have been some texts, they say that, the people would say that the donkey, as Umar's donkey will accept Iman, as Umar would not accept Iman. This is how far they would go. As Umar had done everything, burying their own daughters alive. As Umar was, giving the daughters, and he would bury the daughters alive. He had no raham, mercy. And this was before Jahiliyyah. That same man where all the things, all the bad and evil things we can think of, sins. But then when he came to Islam, he became the leader. The Prophet says that this man would become a prophet if there was to be a prophet after me. Prophet he is amongst those 10 Sahaba. Jannat is guaranteed for them. But yet that did not stop them from continue worshipping. And even when he passed away, what was his last words? Inshallah, I'll talk in detail. When he passed away, he was put and placed on the lap of his son. And when he was placed on his son's lap, he said, take my head and put it on the floor. If this head, this is Hazrat Umar, if this head is destined for Jannah, the Jannah is better than your lap and your thighs. The Jannah, the comfort. And if this is destined for Jahannam, this is Hazrat Umar's fear. If this head and I am destined for Jahannam, even though the Prophet ﷺ guaranteed, he still says, if this head, if it's destined for Jahannam, then you don't want Jahannam on your laps. He would go to Hazrat Hudayfa bin Yaman, who had he was a secret keeper of the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet, he had a list of all the hypocrites. Prophet ﷺ would tell the secrets of Hudayfa bin Yaman radiallahu ta'ala. So this Umar radiallahu would go to Hudayfa and says, can you give me the names? And can you give me the list of the names of all the people who are amongst the hypocrites or from the hypocrites? So Hudayfa bin Yaman obviously said, this is a secret from the Prophet ﷺ. I cannot give you the names. So the Prophet ﷺ, Umar radiallahu ta'ala said, at least let me know that is my name amongst the hypocrites? The fear I have, is my name in there? Or at least let me know it's my name. And then Hudayfa bin Yaman said, Hazrat Prophet ﷺ has actually said, he was the Saddul Bab lil Fitna. He was like a doorway, to stopping fitnas coming in. In a hadith, in a long lengthy hadith, before the fitnas will creep into the ummah, when the door will be shut, or the door will be open or broken down, and that door of fitna, the one that would stop the fitna, was his ummah. Once he passed away, fitna started to creep in. This is Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala. We need to teach these things. And how did he accept Islam? He went to kill his, there was a big confusion in the Arabs, and the Arabs, whenever they preached, or whenever they told, or whenever they would say, they would always have an agenda. Sometimes when we want to push our agenda, we tell everyone this is what we need to. Prophet ﷺ, when he started Dawat, he had no agenda. He didn't want people, he said that don't worship me. As people want followers, and they do things so they get more followers. Today we're in the WhatsApp, Instagram, or Twitters, and we have this many followers, and people tweet, and we want the most followers, so we would do things so we get followers. People will follow us. The more followers we have, the more we are successful. And we will sometimes, na'udhu billah, this is for the youngsters and people who are on social media, we will lie to have more followers. So some restaurant would call us, if you got this is what happens when you go to the restaurant, we eat, and the food may not be nice, but that person is going to make business. So he would call one other person who is very famous on social media. He would eat, and he said, I ate at this restaurant, and he would lie, this food was very nice. So then he gets, the person that gets promoted, he gets more followers, all his followers would go and eat in that restaurant. This is all haram for lying, to get more followers, haram to get that person to promote your business. You order something and you give a review. I'm going to write a review. We might be lying, but just because we got it free, so we have to write a good review. I'm going to write a good review so people promote his business. We don't ask the mas'ala, what is this jaiz, is this najaiz? Shar'an, is it acceptable? We should be asking if these things, when we write reviews, how do we write reviews Islamically? What am I allowed to write? Am I allowed to write things? So Prophet Umar radiallahu ta'ala, he had everything. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had no agenda. When he wanted to push, he said, don't follow me, follow Allah. This was his one call, follow Allah, accept Allah, worship Allah. Don't worship these idols. So they were confused. That this man, Prophet, he's coming. And the Prophet Umar radiallahu ta'ala, when he wanted to go, he said, this Muhammad, just get rid of him. We'll just kill him. So he went out to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, before that, in the story of Umar radiallahu ta'ala, this was his second attempt. The famous story when the Surah Taha was recited. This was his second. He had already attempted to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam before that. Once the Prophet ﷺ was praying salah in the Kaaba, and whilst he was praying salah, he was reading Surah Al-Haqqa. So the Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala would go at night. You see, this is the effect of the Quran. The Prophet Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala would creep and hide behind the cloth of the Kaaba and listening to the verses of Surah Al-Haqqa. And then they would just get mesmerized by the Arabic, the Quran, the way they would read, the way they would listen and understand. How many of us read the Quran with understanding? How many of us just read the Quran, recite the Quran? How can our hearts be affected when we are not going to be connected to Quran? How can we find peace in our life when we have no Quran in our life? And then this person, as Umar radiallahu ta'ala, it changed his life. And then as Umar radiallahu was listening, and he thought of himself, this has to be the words of a sha'ir. This is poetry. So at that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in his heart that this must be the words of poetry. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited, وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ شَاعِرٍ قَلِيلًا مَا تُؤْمِنُونَ. Then at that time, he thought that this must be the words of the soothsayers and the kahin, the one who tells, they used to tell the future, there used to be a lot of kahin. So Allah Ta'ala made Prophet ﷺ recited, وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ كَاهِنٍ قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. And this made him think. That as soon as he thought of these things in his heart, Prophet ﷺ recited those verses. And then he went away. This is the first time was Umar radiallahu ta'ala, he attempted to kill the Prophet ﷺ. And the second time, the famous story, he was going out and he wanted to kill the Prophet ﷺ. He met And Nu'aym bin Abdullah, he later on accepted Islam. Nu'aym bin Abdullah radiallahu anhu, he said that at that time he had not accepted Islam. He said that, where are you going? So I'm going to kill this man who has caused divisions between families, between our tribes, between Quraysh. I'm going to kill him. Now before that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he hadn't realized that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua for, Ya Allah, honor Islam with the two, and from the two Umars. Those two Umar, Umar ibn al-Khattab and Amr ibn Hisham. There were two Umars, and Allah, Prophet sallallahu had desire, he loved as Umar, he made dua for the people. See, you can have the worst enemy, but we can make dua, and they can be our, supporting and honoring us. Sometimes we give hope, and it's useless trying to give this person da'wah. It's useless, he's not going to listen. Hidayat is in the hands of Allah. At the same time, Prophet ﷺ tried to give hidayat to his uncle so much, but he couldn't give da'wah. Prophet said, إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You can't give hidayat to who you love. At the same time, you have as Umar, the enemy of Islam. Allah Prophet ﷺ made dua for him, and then Nu'aym bin Abdullah said, why don't you go to your own house? Your sister Fatima bin Khattab and your brother-in-law Sa'id bin Zayd, they have accepted Islam. So Umar was shocked. He said, I'm going to kill the Prophet. My own family have problems. So he goes to his house, he knocks on the doors, and he beats the sisters up. And the famous story that Surah Taha has been recited, and he accepts Islam. He goes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Long story. Goes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and accepts Islam. And after he had accepted Islam, look at how much honor Allah Ta'ala gives to Islam. Before they would not preach openly, they started to preach openly. Before they would not gather openly in front of, he would gather, and Muslims would start gathering the believers. They would not openly read namaz in the Kaaba. After Umar had accepted Islam, they would go read Salah openly. So as Umar radiallahu anhu will continue the next few weeks, we need to teach the lifestyle, learn ourselves, read and learn and teach our children that these are our superheroes. We make, when at school, one of the children said, who's your superhero? They will make X-Men, or they will say all these words, and they choose these. Why can't our children say that Umar is my superhero? These were our superheroes, these are our guiding stars. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to follow them. Inshallah, we'll continue the last hours in the next few weeks. May Allah ta'ala give us the ability to follow the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala. Ameen wa akhir.